What's up guys, thanks for stopping by, hope you're doing good. Today's video is going to be all about 3 useful tips in PUBG. I hope you enjoy it, let's jump into it. Okay, so for this first tip, I'm going to demonstrate the various uses of switching your weapon slots. So sometimes when you're driving around, you might be having a sick game, you want to drive by somebody. What can happen is you run out of ammo, and oftentimes what people do in this situation is change seat, and then they'll get their gun out and they'll change gun by using the mouse wheel or pressing the number keys, whatever the keybinds are. For my number 1 tip in this situation, you can actually just switch the weapon slot and you will actually have whichever weapon equipped that is in the same slot as the last weapon. So right now the SKS is in slot 2, that's what's equipped. Put the barrel in slot 2 and a seat swap to do drive by. You can see you have the barrel. If we go back to driving, do it again. You see now I have the SKS. So basically, whenever your hands are occupied like this in PUBG, you can actually change weapon just by dragging it in the inventory. And this means that you don't actually have to stop or change seat or slow down in any way to change weapons whilst in a car. This is a huge thing for pulling off more drive-bys and surviving situations when you're trying to drive by people. One other major use of this feature is actually when you just want to see how much ammo you have in the magazine of each gun, but you don't want to slow down. So if you're running unarmed like this, you get maximum speed. If you want to quickly check if your other gun is loaded, just go to the inventory, switch slots, and you see at the bottom, we're now swapped to the SKS, and we see we have a full mag. We can quickly swap back again. This means that I never actually have to slow down, because if you're running and you're just going to get your gun out just to see how much bullets you have in the magazine, you're going to slow down quite a lot. So I'm unarmed right now, barrel, SKS. We just lost some speed there. It's not a huge deal, but this can make all the difference when you're making a fast push and you just want to quickly check your magazine. The next tip I want to cover in today's video is that you can actually switch between throwables just by pressing 5 on the keyboard. Whatever button you have bound for your throwable slot, just pressing it over and over again means you can actually cycle through all your throwables. This doesn't work if you don't have a throwable in the slot. It will just say there's no throwables. You don't have to use your mouse wheel to cycle if you want to have that bound for something else. And sometimes if you're going to get a nade or something, or a molly out of your inventory, just covering up what's going on with your inventory, just covering the screen like that, can sometimes mean death. It's a huge deal to ever have the inventory or the map open in PUBG at the wrong moments. It can cause a lot of deaths. So this is one way you can actually carefully and quickly switch between throwables without bringing up the throwables wheel, which also covers the screen, without bringing up the inventory. And also you can do this very, very fast. It's also a good way to check. I see a few pro players doing this as they play. They might randomly do this just to see how many of each throwable they have without covering the screen. So they know someone is in front of them, they might be just quickly checking, and they don't have to deny their own line of sight to quickly check that. This kind of a thing, like where the enemy doesn't know where they are in this situation, maybe they're peeking a guy like this, they just want to quickly check the utility. Not a big deal, but that's the point in this video, to show you some small tips that you might not have seen in other videos. So the next tip is all about jumping stairs. One of the least talked about things in PUBG is how important speed can be in a fight. Sometimes just getting in position a little faster, or even pushing someone a little faster than they expected, makes all the difference. It could mean the difference between a good peek and a bad peek for yourself, and it could be the difference between the enemy being prepared for your attack or not. One of the biggest things for this is using the unarmed feature all the time. Not literally all the time, but whenever you can, putting your guns away. That extra speed boost makes a big difference. But whenever you go upstairs, again, you're not running at full speed. And the steeper the stairs, the more your character is slowed down. So one good way of countering this is to actually jump up the stairs. See, like that? These stairs aren't very steep, so you don't get slowed down as much. But on steeper stairs in particular, this is a huge deal. So jumping up a flight of stairs is a good way to maintain speed and not slow down inside buildings. Now, the next slightly more advanced aspect of jumping upstairs, everyone can manage just jumping up the first flight, but when they turn, a lot of players just kind of give up on the next flight of stairs. What you need to do is you jump up the first flight, and as you turn to jump up the next, keep turning the mouse so you kind of jump sideways. That is how you maintain speed while jumping up 2 flights of stairs. It is actually more difficult than it looks to pull off every single time, but when you do manage to do this, you will be getting up and down stairs much faster than people expect. The number one thing to remember here is that whilst in some situations it might not seem much faster, there are many flights of stairs which this is way faster. So it's just really good to get in the habit of always jumping upstairs, and remember when it's a sharp turn to throw that little bit of a turn in there so you're still maintaining speed on the second flight. The more you get used to doing this, the faster you'll become. Alright guys, that's just about going to do it for this one. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope you found this video useful. Remember to subscribe to find your way back to the channel, and leave a like and a comment to support the channel. It might not seem like much, but likes, comments and subs actually really help me out. And until next time, have a good one.